Hello, and welcome back to the Warrior Arts Renaissance Show, where you give us hard questions and we give you solid answers. As always, I'm your host, Dr. Philip Payne, and we have once again our special guest who was with us last week, Master Josh Slater, to give us some more insights into knife fighting for self-defense. We picked up, continued the recording. He was with us last week. We ended for the first episode, and then I just kept recording for a second episode. So he's not technically with us this week, but he is definitely with us in spirit. Hopefully getting settled into his new home, moving back to Indiana. So with that said, feel free to join us now as we pick up where we left off last week.
We tend to walk around with these what's called tactical folders, or our old school grandpa knives, the single back or the single blade lock back knives, or even our Swiss Army knives. We tend to use smaller blades in today's world. We don't have a lot of uses in everyday modern society for large blades. But what I found was almost all the training out there, specifically in that Filipino martial art world, because they are a bladed culture, and bigger blades are more common out there, especially in the tribal areas. They were almost exclusively those bigger blades until you got into the Indonesian arts, and then you had the kromo, which is supposed to be a small kind of a holdout knife. And so when it comes to training, I would highly recommend pressure testing the knife techniques that you're learning if you're a martial artist, or if you're not a martial artist and you're soon to be, and you're taught a technique, pressure testing those techniques with a blade that you would carry. And you can find all kinds of small training blades. Do not use live blades in your training process. Your training partner will thank you for not using a live blade. But find a good folder that's as close to what you carry as possible, because that's what you're going to have in your hand or in your pocket when you may need it. And so what I found, there was a lot of artists that were drawing from a Bowie knife type position. The blades were, 7 inches long, and that makes stabbing somebody at a distance a whole lot easier, and it makes getting cuts in a lot easier, especially when you're looking at knife sparring in the FMA world, or even just the knife combatives world. You got guys doing hand cuts. Well, it's easy to get a hand cut when your blade is 4 inches longer than what the other guy has. So I really stress that you need to pressure test that with a smaller blade, because I would challenge you that some of those techniques, they're wonderful techniques. Continue to train them, because you may be in an instance where you're out camping and you're carrying a bigger Bowie knife, or maybe you carry a Bowie knife. Maybe where you live, it's perfectly acceptable. Maybe for your job, you need one. Or more than likely in today's Western world, I would argue that if you don't need a knife, it's probably because you're in the kitchen and you get attacked. And so I pressure test those with smaller blades. I can give you some suggestions for discount blades. Unfortunately, fixed blade trainers tend to be less expensive. They tend to be cheaper in price. They get mass produced a whole lot more. You can find rubber ones easier. But knife manufacturers have to, when they make a training blade, they usually make it the exact same way as the live blade. So it goes the exact same process many times. They just put holes in it, and then leave it dull and rounded, squared, so it can't be a harm to you. And supposedly, so you can't sharpen it. I've never tested that theory, but I'm pretty sure you could. Really needed to. But Kershaw has a good training knife. It's a folder. You can just type in on Amazon Kershaw training folder, and they're, I think, on the high end somewhere around $30-$40. If you're like me and you're Spike and Co guy, they've got their own brand. I'm pretty sure most knife manufacturers, to some degree, have some training knives out there. So find what you're carrying and pressure test that. Because again, those large blade techniques, they work great for large blades, like specifically like stripping the knife and doing a knife disarm. I'm thinking specifically of when you work a disarm and you have the blade faced up, traveling out away from someone, and you use your forearm to knock the knife out. It works really great because it's usually a larger knife, and it's a bigger fulcrum, essentially. With a smaller knife, you've got to be a whole lot more accurate to pull that off, because it's a smaller target for one, and the lever, the fulcrum is smaller. So for me personally, I shy away from that type of disarm with a smaller blade, just because when you're a drilling cellist, and you're hopped up on that adrenaline spike, and you're gonna have one of two reactions. You're gonna get a narrow vision and things slow down, or you're gonna go hyper speed, and you may go for that elbow disarm or the forearm disarm and get cut instead, because you just weren't able to focus enough, or the knife was smaller or sharper than what you thought. So really train that small blade work. It's going to come in handy, I promise you. Again, because we just don't tend to carry large blades. However, I would say don't not train the large blade techniques, because again, there's a place for that. You've got you could be in the kitchen and you can have be attacked in the kitchen, or have to defend yourself in the kitchen, and there's your big knife to chop up vegetables or whatever is a bigger blade. And or you could be camping, or carry a bigger blade in your car, and whatever it may be. If you're more tactical mindset, you may have a battle vest or a battle belt that you set up. You've got a bigger blade on it, so train what you have, and train to be effective with the tools that you have, and go that route. I would even say go as far when it comes to blade training. There seems to be a divide in the knife world about not carrying your knife, using a knife blade down like a knife pick. There are a lot of people that say carry a blade towards your opponent. There's a huge contingent now, becoming more and more popular, to carry your blade inward, and there's benefits to both. And the truth is, that knife may get knocked out of your hand, and when you pick it up, it may be one of those positions if you get into an altercation. So you need to know how to work both of those, how it feels in your hand when the blade is facing inward, or outward. Most blades, I will tell you today, in my experience, are not designed. The handles are not designed to be blade inward, facing you. So it's going to feel different. But there's some great systems out there, and they teach knife work, and it's all blade in, and for that downward angle. So definitely train both. Try to learn both techniques, or several techniques in each one, and find the ones that fit you. And then I guess kind of lastly, when it comes to blade training, a lot of people believe that more is better, but I think I'm a big proponent of the fear of the man who has done one kick 1,000 times. I forget who said that now off the top of my head. But learning basic techniques and then working martial arts, being able to train in the Philippines, in the Filipino martial arts, and I absolutely love it. And I think there's benefit to all of that. And when you learn the benefits of that, the hand-eye coordination and how to do all the flow work, I think it's amazing. And I think it can be beneficial. But if you're just looking for how to defend yourself with the pocket knife in your pocket, you don't need all that flowery things. You just really need to know how to get strong, and then how to cause enough damage to the person attacking you that you can get away. That's the whole point of self defense is to damage the attacker as much as you can so you can get home. And that's my opinion. When I teach classes, I always tell them, especially women's self defense classes, I always tell them I am not ashamed to run away from a fight. Running away from a fight means that I get to come home to my wife and kids. I will run, and I will run in any direction that I can to get home. However, I may have to cause a ton of bodily harm to somebody. And so I need to be able to do that quickly and effectively to get home. And so again, doing the training in that way to understand the easiest techniques and the most or the best techniques are usually the simplest techniques. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts, my general thoughts, if you will, on some blade work there and some just things on knives. I don't know if you have any questions or you'd like me to elaborate on or what.
No, actually, that is pretty much all the time we have. I want to thank you for coming on. I'd love to have you on again. I think what we've recorded will be about 2 full episodes anyway. I value your opinion, and I look forward to having you back in Indiana soon. Listeners, I don't know if you caught that. Master Slater and his family are moving. They're actually moving home to Indiana, so he'll be like an hour from me rather than, 12 hours now, something like that? Oh, I'm sorry. I was basing that off of somebody else I knew who lived there, but they've moved farther away now. I forgot about that. Okay. Right. Which is about an hour from here. So that'll be great. I guess that means you want all your training devices back, right? Yeah. One of those great training experiences Master Slater had was spending some time on the island of Saipan, and unfortunately he couldn't move his entire school, so he moved it into my school, and I've been abusing his training equipment for a couple years now. So that's right. All right, so we're going to end it there. Thanks for joining us, Master Slater, and take care and safe travels.